Hi, friends. My name is Bhavya Mangla. I am again back on my podcast, Unfiltered Conversation. We started this series 25 weeks back. And at that time, the first episode was with respect to the presentation skills. Then, after that, there was a very interesting series, and in that, we talked about the mindfulness. And we had very good and very thought provoking 11 different episodes. Now, this is the next series with respect to the writer's mindset, where I'm inviting different writers, trying to understand that what is their thought about writing a book, what are the challenges that they faced with respect to writing the book, and once they wrote the book, then what they did with respect to publishing the book and with respect to marketing it, and what are the different experiences they had. Today, I have a very, very interesting guest. Her name is Dr. Geetanjali Gandhi. Now, apart from being an orthodontist, she is playing different roles. She is writing poems. She has written many books with respect to the stories. And apart from that, she is a spiritual soul. I'm sure that by the time the show will end, you'll understand many different facets of her. And you'll also understand that what is her motivation about started writing the storybooks. So let me call on Mike, Dr. Gitanjali Gandhi. Hi, Dr. Gitanjali, how are you doing?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. I'm good. And I extend my greetings to all your viewers and your subscribers as well.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Gitanjali, before going further, let's understand a little bit about you, your background, what you are doing, and what's your motivation about writing the book. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure, sir. So I'm basically from Punjab. My schooling has been from Punjab, and I have done my graduation from Sri Amritsar, post graduation from Guru Nanak Dev Dental College, Suna, and I was married in Karnal. I am an orthodontist by profession, and today happens to be National Orthodontist Day as well. And at a personal level, I would say I'm rediscovering myself every day, following my passion of writing poetry and stories.
Wonderful. So, as we were talking earlier a little bit that you're an orthodontist, so your job is primarily to look into the beautification of the teeth of the people who are interested to take care about that. But from where you got this idea about writing the book, writing the stories, from where this all started? Can you share a little bit about that?
So, I have loved writing poetry since the age of 10, and poetry has always been my first love. My poems were published in newspapers, in Tribune, in Newslines, but somehow I would say the inspiration behind writing a children's book was my daughter. She used to constantly prod me for a new story every night. She wanted a new bedtime story every night. So I used to come up with new stories, and from there I started writing them.
So means something what dadis and nannies are doing, you did it for your daughter.
Yes.
So, so what prompted you that when Vanya told you your daughter with respect to the stories, what prompted you to write also rather than just creating some new stories and being satisfied like majority of the parents are?
So children, I feel, are more attracted to pictures and graphic representations that are bright and vivid. So I thought of using a website and an app to put pictures and graphic content, and over that I created characters of three 9-year-old kids. And the characters were etched on the backdrop of the courage of children, just to make the kids understand the our culture. I have added, and plus to make it a learning experience, I have added word meanings as well in the end, so that if the child reads the story, he or she enjoys it as well as learns something out of it. It should be an enjoyable learning experience for the child.
Your first book is Adventures of the Rescue Gang. So,
Yes.
what was the feedback or the response of your daughter Vanya after she went through that book?
So she was extremely happy.
And what she liked most about it? Means why she liked about it and why she was happy with respect to that?
So she liked the story as well as the way of presentation.
Mhm. I could see there are three very interesting characters in your first book, Nodi, Logi, and Winnie. So are they the
Yes.
real life characters or you just created them from somewhere?
So I created them, but then a little bit loosely based on my childhood as well. I would say Noddy I have shown as a naughty character who's a brave heart, doesn't think twice
Yes.
before doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Logi is a bookworm. I somehow feel that I was a bookworm at one point of time and a little shy person. So Logie is my prototype in some way. And then Winnie is a balanced girl uh, who manages both the extremes of naughty and Logie and keeps them together. The three characters are friends, and uh, they are courageous, they are brave, and they are very helpful in nature.
In
So,
fact, when I was going through this book, I was thinking about the childhood of my children's. At that time, when I used to, share the stories and I used to create the stories, it used to be Tinku, Minku, and Rinku. So that was seems to be the three characters from where I don't know from where it came, and I used to weave some stories about that. And when I was going through the Kindle and going through the first book, The Adventures of the Rescue Gang, I was thinking about the same thing that we create something, some characters, and then the children got entangled with that, and they wanted to understand that what these characters are doing and how they are behaving. One very interesting thing which I have seen in your book is that you are using very beautiful colors, and they are actually live. Means not only the words which are there in your book, but also the background, the colors. They also talk a lot with respect to the story. They are also a part of the story. So, how you thought about it? From where all that creativity came, and you went ahead with that?
so I searched on the net to look for a website that helps create these things, and I have used Canva website to create
Mm-hmm,
the characters and backdrops. It was of
mm-hmm.
great help to use this website, and everything, every character formation, every background has been carefully curated by me with the help of Canva website. It's available in the form of app also on the phone, and it's quite helpful for those who want colored pictures in their books.
And how easy or difficult it was for you to create different things. Like I was going through one of that book. In that there was a scene in the night in the jungle, and I could see that actually that picture was black, and the characters are talking as if they can't see anything. So from where this creativity comes, from where this thought come, that because when you're reading it, it gives a feeling that actually it is night, and now people can't see each other, and they still are talking to each other.
So I tried to simulate the natural conditions using the elements given in the Canva website. And it's
Mm-hmm,
not just a single picture has many components, many different elements that have combined together to create that picture.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But people find it very difficult to use Canva. So can you tell how challenging or easy it was for you to use
So
Canva,
initially, I
and
would
how
say
you learned that?
even I had a hitch, but once you start doing it, once you have made one single slide, you understand it. It's quite easy to grasp. It's not that difficult, I would say.
Mm-hmm,
They are just
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
initial notions and hitches before starting over to a something new thing. That too, like I would say, using artificial intelligence, we have a little hitch, but then
Yeah.
it has been very helpful in my case. And it's very easy to use. You just have to try once or twice, you'll get used to it. It's
Mm-hmm,
easy to
mm-hmm.
manage, and it gives a lot of options to incorporate different things, to create different backdrops. So I found it very helpful.
And how much time did it took you to conceptualize it, write the story, then create the background on Canva, and just make sure that now finally it is ready, that 63-page book? How much time it took?
So I would say approximately 2 to 3 months.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And initially, what I did was I just wrote the story down on a piece of paper. Then I broke it into different scenes, and then I used the elements on the Canva to form the backdrops.
Okay. And how challenging it was, means because I have heard many times that people say that they have a writer's block where when they are writing something till a certain point, everything is in flow. But after some time, they start feeling that, oh, now things are not coming in mind. And sometimes people start questioning themselves that whether I'm doing it right or wrong. So did you had any such kind of feeling? And if you had that, how you managed to come out of it?
So, not with these books, I would say. When I had written them down, I had done it for my daughter, and that only spearheaded me to move ahead, to create something for her. That was my intent, and that is why I didn't have any creative block while writing these books. And I would say that I work best under pressure. When I was the most overworked in my life, I wrote two books at a gap of 3 months. And when I have
Mm-hmm.
more time to spare, rather I feel I procrastinate a lot. I always work under pressure. So just because of that, I would say it's been 2 years. I had started my third book and I haven't yet finished it. That just shows how delayed I was in completing the book when I have ample time at hand to work.
So many times people have a thought process that when you're a doctor, you're an orthodontist, there's a lot of pressure of work and a lot of time is being going there. So how to cut your mind means from any profession wherever you're working and now started thinking about creating something because apart from that there are other responsibilities at home. So how you manage all that because many times people have this challenge that I don't have time. So from where you got that time?
So I would say one has to shut down the cacophony, the background noise, and focus on what we are intended to do. As I told you initially, the only intention I had was to create a book for my child. And that I guess had driven me to such an extent that I stopped after finishing the book. I wouldn't take off, I would write it every day so as to finish it.
Mhm. And then what about the second book, The Rescue Gang and Haunted Well? Now the same three characters, Noddy, Logie, and Winnie, they continued and now they went to a different place, and there the story started. So how you link the first story with the second story? From where this thought came that okay, let's make another story out of the first story?
So I felt like having a series of books based on these characters. The initial one had a backdrop of fiction. The second part has a backdrop of conviction that is more
Mhm,
near to reality. The second part. And the
mhm,
third
mhm.
part will again have a mixture of fiction and conviction. The third book that I'm writing, The Rescue Gang and the Mighty Yeti, it will have flavors of both fiction and conviction. So
Okay,
I'm basically writing a series of books based
wonderful.
on the
And
same
when we
character.
can see this third book, The Mighty Yeti.
Sir, hopefully in a month,
Mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
70 to 80% of the work is complete, and
Okay.
a few finishing touches are left. So once I am satisfied with what I have done, then I'll release it in the market.
But as your daughter Vanya has grown up, do you think that she's still interested in your stories which you're writing? She
Definitely,
still
definitely,
get.
sir. Definitely, sir. I guess at my age also, I love to read kids' stories.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
innocence in us, the childhood in us, never leaves us. See, the age group for which I had written the stories was 6 plus. 6 plus, maybe
Yeah,
till 100 years of age, anybody can read it.
true, true, true.
Many people like to read comics even when they are grown up. So it's kind
Mhm,
of a comic only, I would say a graphic illustration only, and it's
mhm.
aesthetically very pleasing. So I don't think so. The age would be a bar to read such stories.
Another important thing when I was going through your book was that the language was very easy. So if it was your intention that anybody who's going through the book, they can understand the book very easily, or you feel that if the writing is simple, then anyone can relate to it and can understand better.
So one can relate to masses only when one uses language that is
Mhm.
easier to grasp for them.
Okay.
I'm not writing the book to show what I know. I'm
Mhm,
writing the book to include people so that they can read and enjoy it. They shouldn't be
mhm.
opening dictionaries while reading the storybook. So my intention has been to keep it simple so that it reaches larger masses.
And you also had a word help, which you said earlier, a small dictionary
Yes.
to still if there are certain words which people
So
cannot understand.
that's for kids. Like I feel for a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid, there are few words that are difficult to grasp. So it would be a
Yeah.
learning experience for the child as well while reading the story, and post that if the child reads and memorizes the word help, that is
Mhm.
going to help the child in the education also. So it would be a fun learning experience.
And another important thing which when I was going through the book was that it is also giving sort of a learning lesson. Like your second book with respect to the haunted well. So it is talking about different superstitions that we generally have and how these three kids try to get out of this. So you are also trying to give a message through this book. So is it your intention or it just happened when you were
No, it is
writing it?
definitely my intention to give a social message. We all are like having some kind of fears in our mind, some dilemmas, some suspicions. We have to
Mhm,
come over these things. We have to overcome our anxieties and move ahead.
mhm,
So it
mhm.
had been my intention to incorporate such a thing.
And especially children at that particular age when they're 6, 7, 8, 9, at that time they had a lot of anxiety because maybe in the early childhood when they are 1 year, 2 year, 3, we used to tell them it's very dark outside, police will come, they will take you. So there are a lot of things that we put in the mind of child, and we think that at that time we are doing good for ourselves, but we don't realize that it is going to create problem later. Like I was seeing your first book with respect to the rescue gang, there you talked about the forest. And in general, when we think about forest and when we think about the night, there is a perception that we should not go there because it is not safe. But there again, we have challenged all these three children that they can go there, they can try something, and they can come out with something new, challenging thing. So talking about the forest, talking about the temple, talking about the water, talking about the spider, how easy it was to connect all those things and make it into a simple plot. Can you tell a little bit about that? Maybe for the viewers also, it will be good.
So as I had previously told you, I write the story initially on a piece of paper and
Mhm,
then make all the corrections I feel that are required, any rectifications to improve the story. And then when I'm happy with the story, then I use the Canva website to create all the backgrounds.
mhm,
I guess the story came to me naturally because this was what I had told my daughter during bedtime. So I
mhm.
just improvised a little bit, and then published it as a book.
So are you still continuing about sharing the stories in the evening and the night, or now with the passage of time, things are changing?
So sometimes I do. She still prods me for stories at bedtime, and
Mhm,
I try to come up with different stories. But then some days, like she goes to sleep early, so that's fine. Otherwise, on many days, like I have to tell her a story at night. But that's good.
mhm,
Just because of this, I have been able to publish two of my storybooks, and the third one is in pipeline. And it is totally because my child had been troubling me for a story. So all the credit goes to her for this.
Wonderful, wonderful. In the introduction, you are also sharing that from the age of 10, you're writing poems. So, what kind of poems you write? Can you tell a little bit more about it?
So I write more of deep and spiritual poems.
Mm-hmm,
And I believe in a concept that we all are living a dream, and someday we all will wake up from it and leave everything behind. It's all temporary. Whatever we are achieving, all our failures, everything good, everything bad, is just a part of dream. And we'll get up from this one day, and then
mm-hmm,
everything would.
mm-hmm.
So one should not take things seriously, any failure seriously, or any success that seriously, because it's all temporary.
Mhm, mhm,
We
mhm,
are a
mhm,
packet of energy in the form of soul that has been sent to the world to experience new things over here and then go back. I have a beautiful poem written regarding that
yeah,
contains the gist of our journey in this world. If you allow
sure.
me, sir, I'll
Yeah,
share it.
sure. Be good for us. Yeah.
So it's titled Journey of the Soul. born as a little gleam from the one, sent on a journey to prove the worth. Taking the most coveted human form, the indestructible gets mortalized on earth. Growing under the shade of the transcendental, living all the seasons of life, overwhelmed by the delusive creations, but in search of knowledge to resolve the inner strife. What I brought, what will I take along? When I know the world's a fake stage, drowned in the temptations, I'll fail from the goal and suffer the divine separation from age to age. O Lord, so like a rose may I face senility, wither away after the task is done, such that when the soul molds the mundane skin, the fragrance of my deeds still lingers on, and thence I return back to you.
So, how this thought came in your mind about writing this poem, and what kind of feeling you had when you were writing this poem? Can you tell a little bit about that?
So I feel when I write poetry, uh, it's basically divine thoughts that are coming to me. I'm not supposed to think anything. The thoughts just flow through me. I feel one should
Okay.
be hollow like a flute for the Lord to play the notes. And it happens
Mhm,
with me every time when I write poetry. If you ask me to write poetry spontaneously, I would be able to write that. But that
mhm,
would be lacking a certain amount of depth that a poem should have.
mhm,
So
mhm.
spontaneity doesn't have depth. If I just keep calm and the words flow through me, then I can write wonderful poetry.
Okay. And have you ever thought about making a book out of all the poems that you have written since the age of 10? Any plans for
Uh,
that?
so I'm planning to put the poems on social media because some of my poems are optimistically very positive and encouraging. I would like that if people read them, they should have a positive feeling. And whenever somebody is stressed and reads the poem, if that person gains some confidence in life, then my goal is sorted. Even if it gives positivity to one person, then the whole sense of writing the poetry is accomplished.
So when we can expect that to happen on social media?
So hopefully in a month or two's time, I have prepared MP4 videos also of my poems. I'm just critically analyzing them myself, and the day I am satisfied, I'll definitely post them.
Good, 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 wonderful. Now, coming back to the books which you have written, on which platform you have put the book? Is it through a conventional publisher or is it self-publishing? Can you tell a little bit about that?
So conventional publishing and publishing through Kindle Direct publishing method are two very different things.
Mm-hmm,
If somebody is going for conventional publishing, then person has to look for a publisher even before he or she finishes writing the book.
mm-hmm,
Because once you write the book and then start looking for publisher, it takes time. And for a newbie or a newcomer, it's very difficult to find a publisher sometimes.
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
prefer the digital platform. I have published it on Kindle Direct Publishing website. It's
Okay,
a sister concern of Amazon. It's the Amazon's
okay.
publishing house.
Mm-hmm,
So for that, one just needs to create the book in a particular format, either in
mm-hmm,
PDF or they have a KPF format. This KPF format can be made on Kindle Create app. This you can find very easily on Google. Just have to Google Kindle Direct Publishing and everything will be visible over there.
mm-hmm,
They have a set of questions that you have to fill, and post that they'll ask you to upload the file, and then they'll review the file for like 2 days. And if there is any issue with the margins or there's any issue with the sensing, they'll mark it out in red. Then you have to correct it and upload it again till it is accepted. So basically,
okay.
all the editing has to be done by your own self, and there is nobody, no human intermediator in between. So it's directly through the website that you're gonna publish it. And I
And
feel through digital.
how difficult it is? Sorry, please, you can complete first. Yeah.
So I feel it is easier to reach masses through digital platform. People
Mm-hmm.
nowadays do not carry books that much, but just by opening the phone, you can read the book. So ebooks in that way have a wider reach. And if somebody wants a hard copy, then they provide it, but then you have to order a certain number of copies, author copies, paid copies from Kindle.
And how easy or difficult it was to do everything on your own rather than taking the help of someone? Does it take a lot of time or it is easy to do it?
So initially for the first book, I would say it was a struggle in its own self. But then by the
Mhm,
time I did my second book, I had got
mhm,
accustomed to it. So
mhm.
for the first timers, it is a little difficult.
Okay. And the second point is now the book is there on Amazon, but there are lakhs of books. How will people come to know that there's a book by the name of Dr. Geetanjali Gandhi with respect to Adventures of Rescue Gang?
So you can market it on social media. Plus,
Hmm.
Amazon gives the opportunity to have your own ads so that you can increase the visibility of your book.
Okay.
So there are methods to make your book visible to people. The
Hmm.
best would be writing about it on the social media.
Okay. Mhm. And what do you think that as you're coming up with your third book, are you going it with a conventional way or you're going with the Amazon and put it online there?
So I'm in a dilemma right now, probably on Amazon again, or maybe on social media. I just
Okay.
want it to reach people as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And even these two books, those who are having the unlimited Kindle subscription, it's free for them, both
Okay.
the books. You need to have
Mhm,
an unlimited Kindle subscription, then it's free.
mhm,
Otherwise, it's chargeable for a very nominal amount. And it's for lifetime, like you have the book with you. And anybody
mhm.
can search on amazon.co.in and type my name, and the books will appear.
Wonderful. So, what next after this third book, which is going to be there next month, the Mighty 80? Anything you are thinking about in future?
So poetry also. And then I'm writing a novel, a sci-fi thriller that I plan to finish. In that case, also I'm just left with last three chapters. So let's see
Mhm.
how
So,
much
from
time
where
that
all
takes.
this motivation is coming to do so many things apart from your professional job?
Uh, so writing has been a passion for me since the age of 10. So it's just that
Mhm,
poetic mind has shifted towards writing stories also. I feel really happy creating something. It gives me
mhm.
immense happiness that I have created something in this world. So I guess that is the point of motivation for me.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent, excellent, excellent. Before we conclude, any poem which you think which is very close to your heart, would you like to share with us?
So there's another one,
Hmm.
and I'll just read it out.
And you have to speak a bit louder, yeah, so that
Sure, sure.
everyone can.
So the poem is Phoenix, a birth from ashes. Because the gist of the poem is sometimes like we feel really low and then we need a little encouragement. So it's a way to encourage one's own self to move forward and be relentless. So I'm just going to read it out. The waves that splash among themselves depict a constant fight within me. A hazy picture of this world. Through my tear laden eyes, I see. Unknown my destiny, unknown my path. Don't know what I want, don't know what I had. With world full of emptiness around, shackles of pain still hold me bound. Fate an enemy, hope seems a distant friend, but ultimate destiny of my life is not to loser's end. Therefore, once again I'll gather my energy and power to fight the mighty push and stress of the hour, so that even time stops to have a glimpse of me. Like a phoenix I am born, let the whole world see. Like a phoenix I am born, let the whole world see.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Gitanjali, for sharing this motivational poem. I'm sure that whatever you have shared in the last 30 minutes about your journey, about writing, about your experiences, and how you're challenging yourself every day, and something what you started by writing something for your daughter, and your passion for writing poems. I'm sure that this episode will motivate a lot of people, especially all those. I would like to thank all those who are writing many things on the messages. Especially there's a message from Kirti Gupta, and then there was a message from Tarannum Ghavri. So I'm sure that not only these two, but all others who are watching it today and later on, they are going to benefit from it. Thank you very much, Dr. Gitanjali. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
for having us. Thank you so much.